Hey guys, it's Al from Altruistic Channel, and I'm just touching base with you guys with a prime example of what I mean about the importance of bringing in your spirituality into your professional setting and how the two dynamics actually merge to a really strong leadership. And so the first lesson out is something that I encountered over one of my more recent weekends where I met an individual who is the type of person who feels like they have been somehow victimized on their pathway upwards, the corporate ladder, if you will, and they overcompensate once they've arrived where they think they want to be with the attributes to the opposing gender, worst, uh, uh, worst aspects of that gender. They then take that on as their personality, and they then come across really rude, aggressive, and kind of really gets to you, right? And so that's one of the things that I warn people about when you take on leadership. If you are someone who has struggled with gender, which is what we're talking about in this scenario, then don't lead with your hoo ha. Lead with your intellect, because what I was watching is the fact that the communication just broke down immediately with the millennials and even me. I stopped talking to this bitch. I just was like, you know what? And I just decided not to engage it. But it became an issue that didn't need to be there. One of the things about the generations that follow, ladies and gentlemen, actually, is that we don't see gender anymore. We were raised by predominantly female. And so we see females equal to males, and in many cases, thanks to a lot of female work, they actually feel that they're superior to the male gender, and their sons have watched them do that. So if you're getting any backlash, it would be of your own merit, but I don't think you are. I think it's just when you live in a setting where you've been kind of victimized over and over again based on something, that you can sometimes believe that if you integrate parts of the negativity into yourself, that you then regain some power and some leverage. That is not true. And you have to be very cautious of that because the times have changed. And a lot of us we're just not going to, I don't fucking put up with it, period. And so this individual, this lady ended up like just walking away from me, like, I think like 7 times. I just stopped talking to her. She said something to me and I looked at her and I go, why are you talking to me? And she just turned around because you can't do anything. When you do your job and you are respectful for the most part for everybody else, they're going to see that is an individual issue with the person. And you would have to be very cautious, obviously, as a gentleman or as a lady in the opposing this particular person. You would have to have a history of being very respectable and very polite and very professional in order to do that. So I would never endorse you doing what I did, but I could give a fuck with this bitch. I was just like, stop talking. And it was just one of those things about leadership that happens is that when you then, especially with other leaders, because you can smell a leader about a mile away, because they don't react with any type of prestige. They don't take on any airs. It's just the way that they carry themselves and that they engage you in a way that meets your eyes. And it's just like the small nuances of a leader is what you're looking for. And it's the subtlety of communication that we look for, right? And so, especially in the higher leadership levels, understand the leader that you may not know because they may have just decided to walk away from leadership, which is what I did. I mean, I've been all the way up to director and I'm a CEO, and it means nothing. It's just a title. And since I don't believe in titles, it doesn't bother me. So I went back and did some bartending because it was a great event and I just wanted to meet my friends and we were just hang out and it's a VIP thing. And so it was great until this bitch walked in and fucked up my weekend. And then I thought about it for a second and I realized, well, I'm in control of my own power. So if I continue to allow her to drain me, I'm just giving her my power. So I just took my power back and just stopped talking to her. And it just made her absolutely fucking nuts. And I just remember at one point, I just like, why are you talking to me? We don't like each other. You are not my boss. And she just walked away. And it's just one of those things where sometimes you have to stand up for yourself, but be cautious that it takes two to tango. I was equally being aggressive with her at one point because I just had it with her bullshit. So instead of allowing things to escalate to that degree, look at who you're talking to. One, I'm a gay dude. Two, never had done anything to the woman. Three, I'd never even said lady to her, which, by the way, is a Southern colloquialism. It's not something that you should, ladies from the North and East Coast, fuck off. Like, what the fuck is your problem? We're not calling you hoe, whore, or cunt. Like, get it together, guys. We have major battles to wage that are really important about gender equality, and that there are lots of assholes that still exist that have issues with you being in the boardroom. Don't make it easier by leading in with the more aggressive, negative aspects of the male to a male, because then we're just looking at you like, you fucking bitch. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You are the same person who we've overheard talking shit about the male gender, but here you walk in hypocritically and then throw this shit towards me, and I'm looking at you like, who do you think you are, young lady? And I would say the same thing to the man. Who the fuck do you think you are, little boy? It's just that level of if you don't know what you're doing, and if you got your job because you had knee pads and a blue dress, Miss Lewinsky, then that's your problem. But don't then overcompensate your shortcomings or your insecurities by then being more aggressive and being needlessly conflicting if you can avoid it. Like, what is the idea there? It doesn't work. And you may get to a certain point, but you will be the first person fired if anything goes down. Understand where you're at. If you have shortcomings, it's okay. Nobody is perfect. Just take it as a leadership and understand that in order to lead, you must have fallen. There's no other way to say it. So, but just don't become what you most fear in order to assimilate to a situation. Because those of us who are ourselves 100% and have fought our way through leadership, a real leader, someone who has stood up to leadership before. That's how we got to become leaders now, by being able to marry the realistic and walk that balance. We're going to hate you, and we're the ones that actually have the power, because we're the ones that are going to put our necks out over and over again to get shit done. So just as a leadership style, understand that this is where spirituality comes in. Take your spiritual needs. Take a moment to meditate. Find your focus in these times of conflict, and ask yourself, what part did you have to play in it? I know I had a part to play in this. I'm sticking with my part of it. But see, that's the same thing on your end. If you can say that, then go with what you're doing. But if you can't, and this woman couldn't, then don't do it, because you're just going to meet the one person who does not give a fuck. I didn't need the job. I was doing it because I wanted to do it. You know what I mean? So I was the wrong one. And she finally got it. I saw her recently, and I just was like, and it was just one of those people that even, she triggered me. And it was a lesson I had to learn, that no matter how clear-headed I've become and how much bullshit I've encountered, I've gotten to a point where my triggers now are, I'm not giving you any power. And so when you step to me the wrong way, understand that I'm not going to be nice to you at all anymore. I'm a Cancer. I put up with a lot of shit for a very long time. And it's one of my superpowers, is what I've learned from that experience. But now I'm on the second half of this, and I'm not being so nice. And so understand that there are times that you're going to have to focus your energy, spiritually become one with what it is that you are all about, and decide how you're going to react or act in a situation. And this tested mine, and I stand by mine. She couldn't stand by hers. That's part of leadership. And that's all I wanted to say. That's out for Altruistic Channel. Have a great day.